Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Blank Check here. I have been awake for about 30 hours, 24 of which were spent working on a vital milestone in my senior design project, probably the biggest of the entire year. But the demonstration was earlier today, and I feel pretty good about it, so I decided to treat myself to a Season 6 premiere. Before we get started, make sure you've seen the episode, there will be spoilers here. And if you want to see my full reaction, I will provide links in the description below, check there for that. It turned out to be an ironically hyperactive, sleep-deprived reaction. I made a poopy! This video will contain my afterthoughts, and maybe a few highlights from the reaction. It will be a sort of review, sort of play-by-play initial impressions discussion. With that in mind, feel free to voice your opinions, and know that the opinions I share here might not be my permanent impressions of the episode. It's just my initial reaction to the events. So let's jump in. Scene 1. Starlight is back, and it seems here to stay. I really wanted to know if she was going to become part of the main cast after the end of Season 5, or just a recurring side character. But with her staying at the castle, it seems she'll be around quite often.
Castle is your
Twilight has herself a student.
As far as being my pupil goes, I was just trying to figure out what your first friendship lesson should be. Oh,
You can be my Iris next.
You're really narrowing it down.
Lesson 1.
Oh, these are just the A's.
Make me a sandwich.
This, I move on to the B's.
Lesson 2. Bring me a sandwich. And I have no problems with that. Though I thought her redemption scene itself was a bit forced, she was a highly redeemable character, and I love what they did with her in the premiere. She's a lot like Twilight from the early seasons. She's unsure of herself, she's afraid of messing up, afraid of disappointing people. And one of the best moments of the episode came when Twilight mentioned Sunburst. That high pitch drowned out all the noise, and everything started closing in around Starlight. Just a really well done scene. Also, side note, before I forget, I like that she had no idea where everything was in the castle. It's fun to imagine that at the beginning of the Season 5 finale, she spent like an hour trying to find a throne room, and just made it in before Twilight came home. Anyway, then we got our first glimpse of the theme for Season 6, which just gave us some cutie marks on the butts of the little ones and Starlight being really shy. Followed by the main 6 discussing the title of the episode, The Crystalling, which could be anything from a cult ritual to a Minecraft mod. Spike comes in to explain things with his 20-sided vase. I've never played D&D, but I imagine that's involved somehow. And the etchings involved are conspicuously similar to our main characters. Either there's a prophecy involved, or Twilight frequents the same art shop where Celestia gets her stained glass windows. Spike is full of himself, and we get some very blatant foreshadowing for what's going to happen to the Crystal Heart. Though at this point, I was really hoping Sombra would come back again, and we would get to see him in two-parters in a row. I love that guy. And I would still love a full story arc with him waging war against Equestria. That was the best Rainbow Dash has ever been. Then there was the aforementioned claustrophobic scene with Starlight, where she makes the best I do not want to be here face.
Funny you should mention it, because I just narrowed your first friendship lesson down to 3 options, and one of them is in the Crystal
Alright.
Empire. Really?
Make me a sandwich, rub my feet,
That's where the first
preen my
story I
wings.
cared about lives.
Then we got one of many great moments between Starlight and Spike. They have awesome chemistry together, a lot like Twilight and Spike, and I do think Spike is at his best when he's playing second fiddle. He complements other characters well with his blunt honesty. In this scene, we get some more backstory between Starlight and Sunburst, which I appreciated a lot because deficiencies in that storyline was my #1 complaint about the Season 5 finale. DHX saved some money with reused animation, and we get an inkling of an idea that Sunburst was the smart one and Starlight was the powerful one. At least, relatively. And then, oh my god, look at that face, she is so cute! Twilight gets a present from Snowdrop, and we're off to the Crystal Empire. On the train, the main six battle to be the new baby's favorite, and oh no, Applejack! What did you do to Bloomberg? Oh no! But it's okay, because Rarity replaces the carefully hoof-knitted blanket with a tablecloth. Starlight tries to shirk her responsibilities like all good students, and Twilight is oblivious like all good teachers.
I've broken the whole lesson down into a few easy steps to ensure this reunion goes off.
Each step is a 20-part sequence. If you mess up on part 19, you have to start back at part 1. And then once we get off the train, we see the star of the episode.
Shining armor!
Oh!
Twilight.
Oh man!
I didn't know you were me.
Of course I am.
Oh.
It's me, right here. Here I am. Why?
This is
wouldn't I come to my
wonderful.
sister?
Shining armor, what have they done to you? I'm not joking, I love what they did with Shining Armor here. The exhausted, overworked father. Between this and him nerding out last season, he is becoming one of my favorite recurring characters. Dude is trying so hard, and I feel for him. Starlight finally has an out, but Spike pulls her right back in, and she contemplates how many ways she can destroy him with her mind. I'm thinking at least 17. But instead of that, we get another pretty good scene between the two, with Spike now leading things. And not missing a beat when he's given the opportunity to showboat in front of his adoring fans.
Why is there a statue of you in the Crystal Empire? Because Spike, the brave and glorious, saved all of us.
And then again during the...
Oh man. I still do not know what drugs these ponies are on, but it's one of the better filler scenes of the episode. And it brings the return of one of the best recurring characters, that bucket of popcorn. Seriously, it's always the same one. But that leads us into the big moment, the reveal of Celestia and Luna. Look at them, they're here, that's awesome. Oh, and I guess Flurry Heart too, she's there.
I expect meeting this one will be any different.
Is it because she's an alicorn? Oh my god, it has a muzzle, kill it now. And she's adorable. But her proportions are hilarious. What are those wings? That is insane. That is a pair of wings with a pony attached. Speaking of wings, Rarity brings up some pretty interesting lore. In that alicorns earn their wings through achieving something great and ascending like Twilight did, and presumably Cadence. Natural-born alicorns are not a thing that's... a thing. And this is corroborated by Celestia and Luna, who have maybe the most interesting line in the episode. Equestria has never seen a natural-born alicorn, and they don't know how it's possible. Now, the way it was brought up, I feel like this has to be addressed in the season sometime, and I would really love to see a backstory with Celestia and Luna. But it still leaves things open for a few possibilities. A, that Celestia and Luna were not born alicorns. B, they were born alicorns, but before Equestria was founded, and they're not sure how it happened. Or C, they always were and will be. All hail, praise the sun. This is intriguing to me, and I can't wait to see if they flesh out the characters because of this, but I am not a lore guy, and I'm not going to go deep into analyzing things here. Anyway, then little Flurry Heart sneezes a hole through the universe, and hijinks ensue. Now this was my concern going in. Babies can be very bad for television shows, being used as convenient and trivial plot devices, and often getting a pass because they're cute. But while this episode is guilty of that, it's not nearly as bad as it could have been, and I was pleasantly surprised with how they handled it. And I think it's very much because of how they focus on the characters around the situation than on Flurry Heart herself. Especially the visually and audibly exhausted Cadence and Shining Armor.
Perhaps you should address your subjects and remind them of that.
Oh yeah, my subjects, those guys, okay. Yeah, I put the peanut butter in the mayonnaise. It helps ground things and make something a little more relatable for the viewers. But she is pretty cute. Almost as cute as Shining Armor. Almost. We flash over to Phillies yelling, "We love you, Spike!" And now I'm just convinced that scene is part of his fanfiction and not really what happened. And he drags Starlight over to Sunburst's house after making her feel really self-conscious.
What?
Knocking on the door isn't the next thing on the list.
Seriously?
It's actually make Spike a sandwich.
What's the next thing on the list?
Before they see each other, make sure
Give Spike
to tell them
$5.
important-
I'm
Okay.
sure we can skip that.
I don't know.
Hey,
If we skip it, the whole lesson could go south.
you don't
And then
skip a
you might
list,
have to take
man.
a giant step backwards instead of forwards. Maybe you'll never be able to learn anything about friendship at all.
Listliness is next to
Almost like your
godliness.
whole future.
This is another thing I think the episode handled well. Sunburst is a pretty cool character. Obviously, painfully not a wizard, but both he and Starlight are so afraid of revealing what they've done that neither notices how incredibly awkward everything is. I still kind of wish Sunburst had a story behind him, had done something terrible or messed up something big time that left him in this state, but it seems he just wasn't that great at magic. Which is allowable because it still gave us some good development for Starlight, and it helped propel her redemption arc forward. After that introduction, we get another delightful Shining Armor freakout.
I can only imagine.
I'd like to be a father.
Crystal of purity.
Rarity steals some crystals from Crash Bandicoot, and then it's 2 horses and a baby. Everything, wow. Oh no, one got away. Someone's cat just got incinerated. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Not a wizard talks to not a time traveler, and they have a not awkward conversation over not overflowing tea. Then we see, once again, why Shining Armor is the best part of this episode. Cadence gives us a biology lesson. That is subliminal messaging at its finest, Hasbro. And plot device A destroys plot device B, allowing plot device C to come in just for the cliffhanger. Cry. Oh. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Everything is terrible! Derp. Well, that was a good episode, huh? See you guys next time. Wait. It's a 2-parter? Oh my god, alright, fine. The theme returns to ruin the mood, like always, and then we have to play 52 Crystal Pickup. The name of King Sombra is invoked, but unfortunately only the name, not the spirit. This time we are actually getting a Cloud of Doom instead of a character, which some people would say it should have been in the first place. Also, they completely wasted the Winter is Coming line in the tank episode. This is the spot where you should have used it. Celestia saying Winter is coming in the face of all the alicorns would have been glorious. Rainbow is cloud blocked, and Celestia and Luna go put a hurting on some clouds. Over with Starburst, more foreshadowing ensues as the Sun Pony drops some sick spell knowledge. Yo. The ponies notice a draft coming in, someone should close the window, and Celestia and Luna go laser storm clouds to death. Oh my god. The princesses! They're doing something! Oh god. Screw you, Cloud! Unleash the power of the sun! And moon!
I don't know how.
That's just great. That's just... I can't complain about that. Like... Come on. Pinky throws a baby, but it's okay, she's a professional. We get yet more great Spike Starlight moments. The little dude is really there to reassure her, and he was one of the highlights of the episode, honestly. I don't say that very often, but when Spike shines, he can actually do some good. You destroyed Twilight's list!
Spike, or you.
She's gonna banish you too!
I'm the one.
And then we get the most hard to catalog scene of the episodes as Applejack, Fluttershy, and Rainbow Dash try to shoo away the crystal ponies and this one tourist dude with an amazing pin. I want that pin.
The crystalling ceremony is one of our most sacred traditions, and when that foal is held before the crystal heart, I plan to be as close to the action as possible.
That guy.
I don't know if there's gonna be a crystalline.
Tourists.
Truth is,
Oh no.
maybe
But really, a screenshot says everything here. We have a Donkey Cutie Mark, a Princess Twilight fanboy, and Cthulhu. This is just one of those out there scenes that doesn't really have much effects on the episode, but it works because you let it work. and you are too transfixed by that two-dimensional mustache to care about anything else. After that, shh, quiet. This is a library. But we don't care. Plot device is flying everywhere, and Shining Armor can't catch a break. I'm pretty sure Twilight has a heart attack when she finds out how badly organized the books are in this library. I imagine the librarian is going to get a stern letter. We finally see Rarity's emergency net. She's a fan of jellyfishing. Just back out slowly. Just back out slowly, please. Pinky recaps us, and then Plot Device destroys a book, which puts her on Twilight's hit list, #1 slot. But it's okay, because she can remember it. I guess that was just there for the commercial break. And Flurry Heart's job is done, so she stops caring apparently. Starlight goes to get, no, seriously, I'm totally a magician, seriously, look at me, I'm wearing a cape, I look like Star Swirl, I have a beard, I'm a magician, come on, believe me, please. Cthulhu makes believers out of the crowd. But then Shining Armor comes out and confirms, yes, it's very cold. And then the town freaks out, all 30 of them. This is probably the most pointless subplot of the episodes, but they gotta fill in the full 44 minutes. Sunburst reveals that he's not a magician. Oh my god! I am so taken aback. I trusted you, man. I thought we were cool. We were gonna be besties, best magician pals forever. And then Starlight reminds us what happened in the Superior Season 5 premiere and finale. Hold your horses, I'm not hating. Get your hands off the keyboard, don't come. No. So this plotline played out predictably, but it needed to happen for Starlight's sake, and maybe we'll get Creamsicle again in new episodes. He seems like a pretty cool guy, I'd like to see him again. I don't know.
Crystalline.
You can't stop those White Walkers, man. You need some dragon power. What if Spike saves the day for a third time? That would just... his ego would just be too big for his little body. His tiny little... It turns out Solar Beam and Ice Beam are not effective counters to Blizzard. Rainbow gets the cold shoulder. And Starburst returns to save the day and invalidate the entire plotline with the ponies gathered around the crystalling. It turns out Book Horse and Love Horse can't mend a broken heart.
It looks right to me, but there's only one way to find
This is just a picture of John Cena. But Sunshine comes in to light the way. Also, I hope Celestia starts a new fashion trend with that ice on her horn. That looks pretty cool. Though Luna looks like someone just hit her with a snowball in the face. I bet it was Celestia, actually. Sunburst shows Purple Smart what real knowledge is like.
You need to combine it with something else. Something unique to the relic itself. Something that strengthens it and provides it with power.
Duct tape. And everyone trusts him implicitly, even with handling the baby. I guess those are the perks of being Celestia's former student. Though honestly, with that baby, he's in more danger than she is. Starlight plays in the big leagues for a moment, and then Flurry. Everything the crystals touch will be yours one day. Sure.
Citizens, may I present the newest member of the Crystal Empire?
It's the circle of life, and it moves us all. Magic happens, the heart is returned, and buy our toys. Crystal Pony sets, only $19.99 at your local retailer. But honestly, Celestia and Luna look pretty dope as crystal ponies, and I don't use that word lightly. Sunburst finally gets a job after I assume he squatted in that house for a few years. And hey, Twilight's parents, oh my goodness, wow, it's been a long time. I hope they come back. Also, great move making Andrew Francis the father and Tara Strong the mother. I definitely caught Tara's voice, though I did not know about the other one until the credits. Still, I hope they can be recurring characters now that they're grandparents. We don't have many of those in this show.
You would not believe the crazy weather that delayed our train.
What are the parents?
Came out of nowhere.
Oh my god!
All worth it to see this peaceful little angel.
Oh!
Aw, so sweet.
I'm so happy!
Dear Grandmare.
Oh! Grandmare!
Yeah.
Plot device acts all innocent and cute, but we all know she's scheming for next time. And, oh wait, they hadn't named her yet. I didn't even realize. And they named her after the events of the day. Like all good children. Just like me. My real name is C-Section Taco Bell Dinner. It looks like Starlight and Sunburst are really reconciling. Let the shipping commence! And I hope that's a hint that he'll be returning. But then, Twilight's sad.
What's wrong, Twilight?
Aw, sad horse.
I don't know.
Twilight know how teach. And once again, Spike saves the day, reminding her that Celestia's preferred method of teaching is to throw students into the wilderness and see what happens. So Twilight's doing pretty well. And everyone lived happily ever. What the heck is that in the background? I hope it is a changeling swarm, because that would be fantastic. But I won't speculate on something that has so little behind it. Anyway, that was the Season 6 premiere, and man have I talked for a long time. My final thoughts. This was a good pair of episodes. Very good, in fact. I half expected them to really mess things up with introducing the baby, but they handled her with care and structured a story around her, despite her being a plot device, that really worked and gave us some great character moments from some unfamiliar places. Shining Armor shined in his armor. Redo. Shining Armor was shiny. He was really good. He was the star of this episode for me, as I've already made clear. But Spike had some fantastic moments with Starlight. He was really bringing his A-game, delivering the blunt honesty, the sarcasm, and the legitimate support that defines his most likable side. And we had a great reintroduction to Starlight Glimmer, the now newly reformed Starlight Glimmer. And I hope this is a taste of what's to come in terms of her character for the season, because she's really likable. I've always liked Starlight, even as a villain. She was just great. She was never evil. She just had extreme ideals that I think weren't quite validated by the finale last season, but this episode really helped to flesh it out. On top of that, it gave some really interesting pieces of lore in terms of alicorns, and it didn't confirm anything specific, but it leaves room open to have an entire episode or maybe a finale that delves into the past of Celestia and Luna. I might be looking too deep into those lines, but I think they were written for a reason. This episode introduced us to a couple promising characters and essentially reintroduced us to Starlight. So I wouldn't be surprised if I remember this episode as a building block for what's to come. As far as premieres go, it didn't pack the punch of something like Return of Harmony or the Cutie Map, but it really makes me interested in seeing where this season's going to go. The show was not damaged in the way that part of me thought it could have been. In fact, it was probably strengthened by this premiere. It was just a solid outing through and through. It was adorable. Yeah, I'm talking about Shining Armor, obviously. And it hopefully laid the foundation for something big. Including that weird thing at the end there. That was intentional. There's no way that was an animation error. Oh well. I'm guessing we won't know for a little while at least. Wow, thank you for watching. This will most likely be the longest review I have until a finale or a movie. So I hope you enjoyed. This was all off the cuff. I did not script any of this, and I was just scrolling through the episode to see the different scenes and talking points. And I've been up for over 30 hours. What am I doing? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Oh yes, found a way to stall Starlight Glimmer, huh? Yeah, huh?